Dave. Can you introduce Theresa, please?
It's my pleasure. Hello, Theresa. We've talked on the phone and through email and so on. And it's finally wonderful to get a chance to see you in person. We came across the Education Bank. I think it's probably through either the media or through another means, and saw it as quite an impressive organization. And so we reached out to try to learn more about it. And so we have Theresa Pastore here, who's the Executive Director of Parents Engaged in Education, and also Executive Director of Canada's first Education Bank, which is a fascinating concept. Theresa, we have a lot of support for food banks in Scarborough, and also we have a Warm Hands program that reaches out and helps children throughout Scarborough and so on. So I thought it'd be really important for us to learn what you're doing, since there's a lot of parallels. So I think you have a bit of a present media clip as well that you'll play, but at this point I'll turn the floor over to you. Thank you.
The feature that I sent you was from Susan Hayes, Making a Difference. So she picked, we were fortunate enough that she picked our organization to do a feature on Canada's first education bank, which is a brand new concept in Canada. To give you a bit of history, Parents Engaged in Education, when schools closed last March, we immediately pivoted our work to provide learn-at-home kits for children at-risk kids in Scarborough and throughout Toronto. What we discovered doing that is this was just a drop in the bucket of need. I guess we always assumed there were these supports somewhere in the city and in the country, but when we did our research, we found out that no, there actually was no place for kids to get free school, not just school supplies. That seems like the simplest piece. It's, fun activities, mental health resources. They get a lunch bag full of food. They get amenities for self-care. So it's so much more than just school supplies. And the Education Bank grew from that idea. And we opened in Scarborough on February 22nd, 2021. We initially thought we'd be servicing about 200 kids a month, for a total of about 2,400 in the year. But we have actually ended up servicing over 1,000 children since the beginning of March. So the numbers and the demand have been incredible. We did switch from in-person to curbside when the stay-at-home order was put in place in Ontario. And we are so lucky to work with our partners in the community police services who deliver all our kits to families in Scarborough. So every family in Scarborough gets their kit delivered directly to them. They get to choose what they need through a Google form. So they go online, they pick what their child needs, we pack the kit, and the police deliver it. But with things changing in the province, we're hoping to be open again to in-person visits where families will be able to come in and select what they need. And that is really the whole basis of the Education Bank. It's to give, largely our kids are BIPOC, to give them choice and ownership around what they select from the Education Bank. Everything they receive from the Education Bank is brand new. We don't take any used products to fill our shelves because these kids deserve new items just the same as any other peer in their school. So we focus on brand new items. And we hope that we fully prepare kids for school and also for having some fun, relieving their mental health stress, which has been enormous this year. And then out of the Education Bank, we built the Education Bank Kids Club. And the Kids Club was designed to provide opportunity. So it's not just good enough in our minds to give them a book. We need to give them literacy support to make reading more accessible, to make it more fun, and to make it more a learning experience. So all summer, we're offering our Kids Club members, everything we do is free of charge. So we don't ever charge for anything. And they'll be having math, they'll be having literacy, they'll be having STEM, they'll be having some fun activities like write an essay about the funniest thing your family's done. And they win prizes thanks to our great partners who donate in-kind items. But we have a whole summer scheduled of great learning so that our kids don't suffer even more learning loss through the summer. I guess everybody knows, it's well known that this has been a very difficult year when it comes to kids' learning outcomes. And we feel like we can't let them slip anymore. So we've designed a whole summer of activities and also mentorship opportunities. So we partner with some of the largest organizations in Canada, like HP, Apple, Google. All of them will be offering speed mentorship programs for our secondary kids to basically say that corporate Canada sees them, they value them, and if they work hard, they can work there tomorrow. You know, so it's about letting them feel there is possibility in their life and there's worth. So that, you know, a lot of our kids say to us, well, even if I work hard, I'm going to end up working at McDonald's because of how I look or, you know, where I come from or whatever. And that's just not the case. And we want them to know that. We want them to hear right from Apple Canada that, no, we see you, we value you. And, you know, here's some of the things you can do to follow your journey. So we think that's really, really important for our secondary kids. And I guess lastly is we are trying to work with partners to provide devices for kids who are moving from secondary into post-secondary, college, university, or skilled trade, because they'll have to give back their devices. They're, you know, low-income students are the ones that they were technically loaned equipment to work on, and we know they're going to need devices moving into their post-secondary journey. So we're working with partners also to try and match our secondary kids to devices as well. And that's a little bit about the Education Bank. So we are, I guess I should say too, we are a wholly volunteer organization. So every penny goes back into the kids and to the center. We are not funded by the government. We are not funded by any major funder. We have to be out soliciting every dollar that keeps the center open. We have a fundraising goal this year of $200,000 to keep the center operating next year. And in fact, that $200,000 needs to be started to be implemented by October because we've serviced so many additional kids just since February than our original forecast that our finances are challenged for 2021.
Thank you, Theresa. And you're up at Morningside and Ellesmere, or separate?
And Milner.
And Milner, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for Theresa? I hope you all got a chance to look at that video. It's only about 3.5 minutes long.
Theresa, could I ask if you've had, have you looked into getting funding from the city and things like that? And what sort of reaction have you had from them?
The city is looking into a process to let us to apply. That will be next year. The federal government, basically, it's a grant by grant submission basis. It's not a permanent source of funding. And the province, unfortunately, doesn't always value education. And so they have basically said, no, we think we're doing enough for low-income families.
Of course they do.
So,
Anyone else?
Yes, I have a question. I saw the video. The video was very revealing, especially during this COVID situation. Education for the people who are new immigrants and people who are less fortunate, they are badly affected. And this is going to have a long-term impact on the system because education is going to be the backbone of the next generation.
Absolutely.
So I think it is important that, that this is recognized and it's properly funded. Now, what kind of fundraising are you doing and how can we help?
Well, we're doing grant writing at every level, every corporation, every opportunity that opens up to us in terms of anything to do with education and mental health. Because, you know, it's really important. One of the reason we designed the Education Bank Kids Club was to create a sense of community. because our kids have lost that sense of community during COVID. They've been in isolation. You know, they've often struggled in school anyway with bullying issues or, you know, special needs not being met in their schools. So we really want to set a sense of community with these kids, so they know that not only do they have our support, but they have each other's support, and they have all our donors' support. So at the Education Bank, every donor becomes a partner in the project. We don't just say this is our issue or our project. This is everyone who has contributed to the project. But we continue to explore every opportunity that we can to secure funding. From the Rotary's perspective, it does come down, unfortunately, to funding. And, I know that you have a lot of great work you're already doing in the community, and, it may not be possible to consider us this year, but, we are in great need, and anything that your group can do would be really appreciated.
Thank you.
Theresa, where exactly are you located?
Morningside and Milner.
Where, near the Staples or on the other side?
Yes, right across the street from Staples, actually.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And is that donated space? How do you manage?
It's much discounted space.
Oh, okay, good.
So the landlord has been wonderful with us. They gave us like rent for 25% of what they normally would charge. And, I think COVID did allow us to be a bit fortunate there, that they had empty retail space that they didn't project using. And we are hoping they'll be kind to us for another year and really let us get this under our belt. And, we are going to keep pushing government to fund this. And it's far reaching in Scarborough. We are serving hundreds and hundreds of kids. And it also is allowing, quite honestly, a new relationship between community police and our families at risk, which has been really wonderful because, police and at-risk communities have not always enjoyed maybe the best relationships, right? But through the delivery of these kits, they're getting to see the kids smile, and the parents are grateful for that interaction. And so, they send us pictures of them delivering to a child. And, so it's really helped them as well, I think, for us to form this partnership.
Is it 42 and 43, I guess, are the two that
42, 43, and 41 also.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I live 10 minutes away, so that's why I was interested.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Sure. Theresa, can you just make a few comments around the staff and the structure and the program delivery for the summer program?
So we are not staffed, we are all volunteers, but we are very fortunate to have, university professors volunteering, retired teachers, some active teachers who are doing supply work, and they are the ones helping us through our summer programming, all of them getting involved to offer where their skills lie most. We're also connecting with other organizations like STEM Minds in Aurora. So they're going to be offering their programming and provide a camp for our kids. So we are looking to connect with all these different organizations, and we do work on this as a board on a continual basis to think, okay, what is the next opportunity that we can offer? But we do have a great team of volunteers. We're over 30 people now come in and help keep this moving. We are doing a big distribution of outdoor equipment June 25th. So all families will be able to come and pick up basketballs, soccer balls, footballs, hula hoops, bubbles, chalk, outdoor chalk, and frisbees to get the kids out moving, get them in the park. And along with that will be information packages on the benefit of exercise for mental health in children. So that parents can really understand that need to get them, shut their computers off and get them outside when school's over.
Theresa, are you registered as a charity as yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we've been a charity since 2015.
Ange, you got a question?
Yeah, sorry, I have not been a parent for these school-age children for some time.
Neither have I.
Yeah. My wife was a teacher. We watched your program, and she was thrilled with what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
But the last the last I was in was back when Mr. Harris took over education from the local school boards. So I was really quite surprised to hear you say that the province was really not connecting at all with people like you. So do you have like parent associations associated with schools, or you're independent of schools? Like I'm asking very, sorry, far out questions here.
No, that we get asked that quite often. So we are an independent charity. We are not aligned with any one school board. However, we do work with TDSB and TCDSB. So they send our information to families in need in their schools. So that has been sort of how our numbers have increased so much. And then we also work with the Ontario Works social workers. So for newcomers, refugees, and things like that coming into the country, they connect them with our services as well to help their kids get up and going in school.
But things like parent councils, I mean, I don't, like I said, I have not been part of this for a very long time. Do we have things like parent councils who essentially are associated with schools, and would they interact with you in some fashion?
Yes. So we that actually was the majority of our work until COVID closed schools, is we did a massive amount of training for school council leaders in schools so they could be effective partners with principals. And so we do work with a number of them. They know of our work, and sometimes they're doing school supply drives. Sometimes they're just encouraging kids to families to sign up so these kids can have these opportunities and things like that. And that's where, the government comes back and says, well, get your money from school boards. Well, school boards used all their reserve funds in COVID. So if they're supporting anything, it's their own board activities, right?
So what is the reach of your particular organization? How far into Scarborough would you go?
We're all over Scarborough.
So you would, they call it North Scarborough. I'm really Southwest. So you would, there wouldn't be an equivalent organization over here. This is your organization all the way.
We're actually the only one in Canada.
Wow. Anyway, terrific work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No? Okay, Theresa, thank you. Frank, can you thank Theresa formally, please? You're on mute.
Hi, Theresa.
Hi.
You got me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's okay. This is me on Zoom too. Am I on? Am I talking? Am I not?
I didn't get to see the video. I'm sorry I didn't, but you don't need that, because what I've heard from you, I can sense your enthusiasm and what you've told us from that idea, initial idea that's grown with volunteers only. Are you hearing that?
Whose phone's ringing?
Sorry, there it is. Sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry, Theresa. Go ahead, Frank.
Okay. Yeah, so what you've told me, I'm very wowed with what you've put into place in such a short time after recognizing that need, which, a lot of people did not know about, and what that's like, trying to make people aware of what's going on, I think your team and your organization has done a tremendous thing here in doing what you're doing for the kids.
Thank you.
We said education is so important, and it sometimes gets lost in the shuffle, But I can sense your passion and your pride, and you very well should feel that way too. So keep up the great work. And on behalf of the club, I'd like to thank you for coming and sharing that with us today. It was very enlightening, and it's God bless people like you that's out there doing that,
Thank you.
So on behalf of the club, thank you very much for showing up today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.